Good morning, everybody. It is currently 10:40 a.m. on this Wednesday morning. I know a lot of you guys have asked, what's the weather going to be going into the future here now that we've had our winter system that is now moving out of southern Indiana that brought 2 to 4 inches of snow to portions near the Ohio River from Evansville over to Louisville. But now a lot of you are asking, what's in store for the rest of February here going into March? Again, meteorological spring here starts in 10 days. March 1st is the first day of meteorological spring. Is it going to feel like spring? Is it going to feel like winter? Let's talk about that. Um, First and foremost here, let's go ahead and dive right into models here and talk about the near term before we talk about the long term. Near term, we're watching a shortwave that'll be moving into the lower Great Lakes region here over the next 24 hours, which is an area of low pressure sitting right in here over towards Minnesota, the Dakotas, Nebraska, and Iowa sitting right in there. That'll be working its way into the region here later this evening here. And as it spins and does so, it's going to bring some lift to the area as well. And also, it's going to pull some backside moisture in from our low pressure system that brought that 2 to 4 inches of snow to southern Indiana. That'll allow for some light snow to develop here later today, probably after 7 o'clock here tonight across east central Indiana and into central Ohio. Again, not a heavy snowmaker at all. We're limited on moisture here as well as really cold temperatures. But what that is going to allow is going to allow the snow to be light and fluffy, often causing some reduced visibilities at times as well overnight tonight, especially after 7 o'clock into early tomorrow morning. As we look at the radar here, we'll time it out for you. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. Here we are tonight. Again, here's 6 o'clock here tonight. We got some lake effect snow showers that'll be ongoing, and that'll be really the main story here throughout the next 36 hours is lake effect snow. Here we are tonight. Here's our shortwave moving in. Our cold front sitting right in here. Here we have some light snow that'll be moving across east central Indiana, maybe perhaps southern northern Indiana as well, generally south of Fort Wayne. That'll bring some light fluffy snow to portions of eastern Indiana and, of course, most of, if not all of Ohio, despite with the exception of northwest Ohio. Again, snow accumulations are not looking to be very high with this system. In fact, most people tonight will see a trace to perhaps 1 inch of snow. Again, this is not going to be a heavy snow. It's going to be light and fluffy, very powdery, more like powdered sugar. Again, our low temperatures, our temperature profiles tonight are going to be in the single digits. We're going to be dropping from the teens to the single digits. So not a lot of moisture holding capabilities in this Arctic air mass that'll be moving in here tonight. So our ratios are going to be pretty high, 16 to 1, 20 to 1 perhaps. And this will bring some heightened snow accumulations as well. Allow it to be really light and fluffy, generally to a trace to 1 inch of snow. Again, not a big weather system, but it could cause some slippery road conditions or perhaps some reduced visibilities. The biggest story to talk about is the lake effect snow that'll be coming in associated with this shortwave. Again, really cold air aloft moving over relatively warm lake waters will produce ideal conditions for lake effect snow and perhaps some heavier bands as well. Starting out with the lake effect snow, we're going to go in here tonight. Tonight, primarily after midnight, is really when it ramps up. We're going to have winds oriented from the north, moving to south, north to south oriented winds running right down the lake. Perhaps even picking up some moisture from Lake Superior as well. We have that Lake Superior connection here as well, which is really going to enhance this convective snow band. Here we are going into tomorrow morning, but look at this. Really, the model really wants to have one consolidated snow band here, which really promotes heavy snow totals from Berrien County, Michigan to LaPorte and St. Joseph counties in northwest Indiana. Really, those three areas up here really have the best chances for seeing anywhere between 3 to 7 inches of snow, with the highest amounts being in Berrien County, seeing 6 inches or more of snowfall. And again, it's not going to be widespread. It's going to be wherever this band sets up. That's who's going to see the snow. So people over towards Michigan City, you may not see much, maybe 1 to 2 inches there, or you could get, 6 inches plus. It really depends on where this band sets up, how it deviates with the wind. And something else to watch too. Notice how the model wants to have these little curlicues in this band as well. That's picking up on some convergence, some frictional forces that you have interactions with the land and water with your wind parameters as well. This is called a mesolow. So they're like little embedded areas of rotation within the band itself that can actually enhance snowfall as it moves on shore as well. So heavy snowfall rates in excess of 2 inches per hour are likely across northwest Indiana. Again, LaPorte, St. Joseph County. Something else to watch here, though. Notice how this band kind of wobbles a little bit. it deviates a little bit with the winds. So I know right now we do not have high snow totals for Lake or Porter County. However, those two counties in particular are of higher uncertainty. We're going to have to watch you in particular, especially Lake County. Just depending on how that band deviates, Lake and Porter County, you could get in on some lake effect snow, just depending on how that deviates a little bit. Again, any subtle shift will have significant increases or decreases in snow totals depending on where you're at. So something we're going to have to watch here fairly closely again. But going into that, looking ahead here, again, here's the pattern we have. Here's our shortwave. Here's our trough that's digging in. Again, this is some of the coldest air in the northern hemisphere that'll be moving into the lower 48, and it has been in the lower 48. I mean, Bismarck, North Dakota yesterday reached a whopping minus 38 degrees actual temperature, which is extremely cold even for them. So again, very cold, potent air mass that'll be moving in. In the core of that air mass will be moving over the Great Lakes region here over the next 24 hours. Luckily, we won't see those extreme cold temperatures as air gradually warms as it goes south this time of year especially. But with that being said, there's enough cold air aloft to really ramp up lake effect snow, and that's really the big story here over the next 36 hours. Looking ahead here, we have a brief pattern change here. Here is Saturday. Look how we go from a real dip in the jet stream, a real meridional flow pattern, over to a more zonal, more relaxed flow pattern. This is actually going to allow that cold air to retreat back into Canada and bring temperatures closer to average, if not slightly above average, by the weekend. Some areas by Saturday may see temperatures in the 40s and perhaps even some low 50s sneaking in there to southern Indiana by Sunday. So something we're going to have to watch here going forward. As we move into later in the month, though, we get into more of an active pattern here, almost a battle zone setup, similar to what we had before, where we're really favoring split systems that have a warm sector and a cold sector. We're looking at a stormier pattern, multiple systems moving back in perhaps at the late month and early March. This will bring renewed rainfall, perhaps some snowfall as well. So all things we're going to have to watch going into the end of the month and into March. March is looking very active here, which is good in terms of our droughts. Right now, Indiana is currently not in a state of drought. We do have abnormally dry conditions left over from our drought that we had last year, stretching from southern Indiana all the way to northern Indiana. You don't get into drought until you get into Michigan there, where you have some D1 moderate drought conditions extending all the way from Berrien County, Hillsdale County, all the way to Monroe County in areas north. And then you get in, once you get up towards Saginaw, you get into a D2. That's a severe drought. Most of northern Indiana wasn't a severe drought last summer. We even had some D3 extreme drought introduced to the state as well last summer. But that has since been reduced to abnormally dry thanks to our rainfall and precipitation that we've had here throughout the wintertime and throughout late fall, which is great for agriculture coming in the spring here. And hydrologic impact should be minimized here as we go into spring as well. So something we're going to have to watch here as we go into spring going forward here. But again, going ahead here, long story short, we're going to have a brief lull in terms of activity here going into the last week of February here. So that is good news here. Again, a more relaxed jet stream here that will allow warmer air to come up from the south. Before a more active pattern, a more meridional pattern moves in by the last week of February and into the first week of March. So something we're going to have to keep an eye on here. Again, we'll go to satellite here to show you what we're looking at here. So here's kind of the overall weather pattern that we have currently here at 10:50 a.m. Here's our shortwave sitting right up here over the Dakotas. You can see that broad area of spin here. Here's your cold front sitting here from southern Wisconsin all the way to western Kansas here. That's your cold front associated with this trough. This is our next wave of Arctic air that'll be moving in. Again, this is what's going to drop temperatures down to the single digits tonight across Indiana. It's going to get quite cold here tonight, but that's also going to bring some light snow associated with this cold front as well, as it pulls in some backside moisture associated with our system right in here that is exiting the region as we speak. And then some lake effect snow will pick up here tonight and could be quite heavy at times as well. So that's your look at the long term here. Again, light snow moving in tonight after 7 o'clock could bring anywhere between a trace to an inch of snow max across Indiana, with the exception of northwest Indiana, where we expect some heavy lake effect snow bands to set up here. Again, starting more north-south oriented before shifting out of the northwest to southeast. So there's your totals there, 1 to 3 from Warsaw all the way to Gary to South Bend, and then pick up a little bit heavier there in right around the LaPorte St. Joseph County line there. We expect anywhere from 3 to 7 inches of snow. And again, not everybody will see 3 to 7 inches of snow. It really just depends on how that lake effect band sets up, how it deviates with the wind, and how it trends throughout the night tonight and into tomorrow. Significant travel impacts are likely, especially the I-90 corridor in St. Joseph and LaPorte counties, Indiana, could have some travel restrictions there and some slow traffic as a result of the heavy lake effect snow band as well. So do be cautious if you are driving on I-90. You'll likely go from clear conditions to whiteout conditions fairly quickly as this lake effect snow band sets up. Currently, as a result, we do have winter weather advisories sitting right up there across northwest Indiana, southwest lower Michigan. You can see those there, those little purple squares there. This is a result of the lake effect snow that'll be moving in here again. Special weather statements across central Indiana, central Ohio. This is for the light snow that'll be moving in here tonight, primarily after 7 o'clock here tonight. Again, a special weather statement is when conditions do not meet winter weather advisory criteria, but could still cause some isolated travel impacts. So that is why the National Weather Service in Indianapolis and Cleveland went ahead and issued those here for tonight. As we look off to the west here, look at all those dark blue squares. Those are extreme cold warnings stretching all the way from Canada to the Mexican border, roughly 2,500 miles of cold alerts. And again, the light blue are cold weather advisories. I wouldn't be surprised to see those extended into Indiana here tonight, as our wind chills could be below minus 12, minus 15 degrees here tonight. So again, a very, very cold air mass is moving in here tonight. Some of the coldest air for the month of February is impacting the region right now. But the good news is we trend to warm up here by the end of the month here, closer to average, if not slightly above average, before becoming very active and very unstable here by the end of the month and into March as well. So a lot of stuff to look at, a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. Again, we're going to be looking at rain chances, thunderstorm chances. All of those probabilities exist as we move into March. So lots to look forward here. And again, thank you guys for joining us here today. And we will see you next time